are amazing things. They hold us up, they support us, they make us strong. But bones have other uses. In the past, bones were thrown by diviners, seeking out the mysteries of the future. Now the bones are cubes, made of plastic or resin, but they still reveal things to us. As they fall from our fingers and rattle across the table, the story becomes clear. Welcome to Bone Throwers Theater, an RPG actual play podcast.
Welcome back to Bone Throwers Theater. We're going to be doing our commentary now. I am Ellie, eating some amazing pie.
Well, I guess we know how that vote's going to go.
This is Johnny, and I already ate my pie.
This is Jordan, and as a bariatric patient, I'm afraid of the pie.
This is Jeremy, and I made the pie.
This is Jeff, and the dates are my vote.
This is Aaron, and there's still half a pie left.
So,
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
So, about the pie.
welcome to the culinary section of Bone Throwers Theater.
Sometimes it truly is.
I mean, do you want to just dive into that first and get it out of the way, and then talk about the points, or talk about the
Wow, it's
games?
still fresh in my mind.
And your mouth.
Let's talk about gameplay.
Okay. Yeah. This was an information-heavy session.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah, it was. It kind of needed to be.
After the last couple, we've been doing a lot of running and gunning.
Yeah. It was just good information.
Confusing information.
Confusing information stuff as well. Jordan never ceases to try and throw a wrench into everybody's.
Why is it that
systems.
you guys are saying that I'm the one who's throwing a wrench into your system? It's always the GM's plans that get ruined by the players. Come on, guys.
But we know you don't plan.
There is that.
I do plan. Thank you very much. One episode at a time. Sometimes during the episode, but I do plan.
I don't always plan my gaming sessions, but when I do,
You're all dead.
So here's the deal.
swingles.
There has been some information that has been scattered throughout
Yes.
the episodes.
You
that
have
are-
a grand arching plan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. The one thing that I was like, oh my goodness, how is Jordan going to work this in? And it kind of actually worked its way a little bit into the story, was the whole idea that Katari's sick elemental was trying to split and bond with Julian.
Right.
And we had said since the outset that elementals cannot bond with innates. Like, that is not possible. It seemed like that's where it was headed, and I was like, how is this going to even work? And then I kind of like the idea that it was trying to, which is what was making, I assume was what was making both of them sick.
Yeah. Basically, the idea was that correct innates cannot be bonded with elementals. This elemental trying made your body react as if it was an immune system. Basically, your
Yeah, that's
innate
why I was-
ability.
That's why I was like, Jerry needs to help him out like he's fighting a virus.
Exactly.
He is. It was an external virus trying to...
But that's exactly what's happening to the proxy. Is that the proxy is so sick it doesn't realize what's happening. It has a virus of its own.
Yeah.
Because elementals are parasites.
Well, they might be. I mean,
According to Julian, yes.
Shade's my friend.
I loved that interplay between Shade and Julian, or Sam and Julian, at the very beginning of the episode. Where you're on completely opposite sides of the issue.
Katari still needs to die. But at this point, I've been persuaded to...
Yes.
Let's talk about that switch, because Julian, since the episode where he found out Aelin was dead, has been steadily getting like darker and darker and darker and darker. And we sort of saw that at the
apartment building.
Where he was just jumping on everybody's case, and then was willing to just, all right, kid, leave the room. We're going to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
And fittingly, in the place where he had been doing some of that on his own already, but with a bigger purpose in mind, didn't catch it. That's where I threw in the idea that there were bones in the
Right.
in the dumpster, because that's where he was going to experiment with the drugs and trying to disbond elementals from the humans. Obviously, unsuccessfully.
That's why there's bones. In the
That's
dumpster.
why there's
Burned bones.
charred bones in the dumpster. But something Qatari, well, it wasn't even Qatari. It was the elemental, kind of made him take a step back from that and say, "Hold on, yeah, Qatari, the body of Qatari has done some pretty shady and misguided things, detrimental to the group. But where's this coming from?" I mean, talking to the elemental Daisy, kind of figured that Daisy and Qatari are sort of the victims here, and they're along for the ride of whatever this virus is infecting him. And that made him take a sharp turn back to his roots that...
You said roots.
Yeah, I did say roots. I didn't mean... no, pun not intended. That he's going to try and help anybody out that is in need, that is being victimized by something. So that's why that big shift came in, where he was ready to pull the trigger
Chime's
himself.
Point of view also, where that's why, Chime's not afraid of fire. He's afraid of fire elementals.
Sam and Shade, on the other hand, Shade wants it removed. This is something unnatural, something not meant to be. So Shade doesn't care how it happens; it just has to be gone. And death is the surest way.
Right, but Julian's argument against that is, and he's trying to convince Shade to give up some information that I know Shade doesn't want to give up, saying that, yeah, you can kill the body, but that's not going to solve the elemental from still going and doing that
To another
Elementally thingy that it does.
to somebody else.
Yeah.
So,
Because we know that elementals can jump from body to body. We've seen it.
so yeah. Julian is convinced that Shade actually knows how elementals can die, and is just not going to say anything.
That's probably true.
Did you guys enjoy the plot twist involving Bear going back to Sarani's body?
Yes.
Yes.
That was.
Yes. I loved it. I loved it. Because there's something I've been trying to work in with Bear each and every time that something story-wise happens with him.
Yeah.
Is that there is a definite disconnect between... I mean, you can even say it now the same way that it's happening. It's showing a little bit with Archie. There are three distinct drives in an android. There's the elemental.
Mm-hmm.
There is the base programming, and then there's the personality that results maybe from the mix of the two.
Yeah.
So most of what you see is the mix of the two. And then kind of we saw Jordan when he said, he pulled me aside before we started recording. It was like, this is what I want to do with Bear. Bear's got to go back here and do this. And he did it in such a way that I was like, oh yeah, this is the base programming coming back into play.
Yeah.
And then the sort of hulking out that we saw last session, that is the elemental side just
Going crazy.
taking over.
Yeah.
And gave me the opportunity to say that the middle road, the personality that is Bear between the two, is unaware of either two. And you see that with Archie as well.
Yeah. In Archie, it almost seems like the elemental might be winning out over base programming.
Yeah.
Because it's fire.
That's not necessarily the
Fire's
case.
evil.
That's not necessarily the case, but Archie's elemental, at the very least, seems to be rather fixated on Huracan,
Yeah.
which is really fascinating. Like, I have no idea where you're going with that, honestly.
Yeah.
You might not be the only one who's.
But it actually, it's a really cool feature, that, and whenever it pops up, it's like, oh, what's going to happen now? Like, just from a GM's perspective, yeah, sure, I'm proactive a lot of the time, but when it comes to your guys' improv, I try to be very reactive, because I feel like you guys are such a good gaming group, all of you.
It's what makes our storyline so unique.
Exactly. I can just I can let you go and I can just kind of build off of what you do. I mean, there's the whole concept of the yes and I feel like our group has really settled into that quite nicely.
Well, yeah, that's from improv. I took a couple of acting classes in college. One thing you do with improv is you never say no to what somebody else has done.
Yeah.
You build off, you kind of accept that as, oh yeah, that's a thing, and now let's build on that.
And it's been really hard, especially with Bear, because I knew exactly what I wanted to do to help resolve the situation at the end of the last episode. But I'm like, well, I can't just take him away because Jeremy's in the middle of controlling this character. So we had to...
And I knew there was some of that base programming, the getting the tech information side of Bear that you had in play from the start when you said, he needs to go back to get this information downloaded. So I tried to, in those last scenes at the school, set it up so to give you an opportunity to, hey, take it over. That's the whole reason I wanted Bear to have this odd fascination with technology all of a sudden when he didn't care about it before. It's that base programming leaking through into his personality. It's like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
There's something about this that I need to figure out.
And I feel like this is the most healing that Jerr has done.
Yes, finally.
Yeah.
He built his character.
I built my character to be a healer, and then
They chose a career as a firefighter.
It's because I thought I would have situations as a
I know.
firefighter to be able to heal people.
Well, you also said you didn't want to use your stuff outright at the beginning.
At the beginning, yeah.
And
Which I like that, the arc now.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to say that shows a lot of character growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because
Hint, hint, that's going to be my vote.
yeah, yeah, because at first, before he really got into it, Jerr did not want to use his abilities for medical
he was in
purposes.
hiding.
Yeah, he was in hiding, and he's still technically
All of us are now.
is in hiding, but you all are in hiding still. But you are more open to be able to do what you're
Yeah.
intended to
I'm not
do.
hiding by myself anymore.
Right.
So I liked also what Aaron, what you did with Sam collecting information, the dead drop, because you had said something in the last session that was the last session or a session. It was something.
I think it was 2 sessions.
Two sessions ago before that had me. I've been wondering about it ever since. Where out of game, you were just saying, "Oh yeah," because Sam needs to go find somebody and kill them. Like there was somebody specific that you wanted to go and kill. And I'm thinking back
Yeah,
through,
that was 2 sessions ago.
and I'm like,
I don't remember that conversation
you
at all.
you definitely said it.
I brought it up to you too.
Yeah.
You definitely said it, and I'm like, because I remember because you says somebody that we have encountered before.
Dead drop.
It's like somebody that we've encountered before. So as I'm going through and I'm listening and editing, I'm like trying to remember the stories. Like, who have we encountered that Sam can go and kill? I was like, I don't know.
Because I thought it was
him.
like
Chime.
I thought it was an old member of
Chime.
the weasels that you had encountered, like at the bar or something.
Oh. Did you find the reference to the dead drop in a previous recording?
Not the dead drop, just
Okay.
that you needed to go and kill somebody.
Oh. Now I gotta figure out somebody to kill.
Yeah, but it sounded
takers?
No,
It sounded like that's what
it sounded like you had somebody in mind that
and you went and took care of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to do when you said Sam's going to go.
Oh,
out
wait
and
till
then-
night.
Wait until night. I was like, all right, here it comes. I'm going to find out who he's going to kill now.
No.
But I do like the information because it sounds like that you were just looking for what information was out there circulating about anybody in our group.
So what actually it was back at season 1, 1.4, 1.6, we were looking for information about the fire drakes.
Yes.
Sam called one of her old contacts that was still stationed in Marneline
Yes.
and asked for information and about the fire drakes, about how they're operating, anybody that operates similar, and asked for that packet to be sent to the
Okay.
usual contact.
Okay.
So
I do remember that.
that's what this packet
So, but it
was.
looked like what you were trying to gain from that is
If there's
a little bit. Who here can I trust? Because who here is is anybody actually working with the fire drakes here?
And well, and so here's the thing. For me, I was expecting you to go and try and kill the other player that you guys met in the other NPC that you met in the Slippery Weasel bar, because there was if I remember correctly, there was another member of another Black Ops member.
Another of Qatari's group.
Yeah, that Qatari was trying to. I can't remember 100%, but
Chime.
because it might have been just Chime.
I will have to check.
But I thought that you were going to try and kill other people who knew Qatari.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all had our own theories about what you were planning.
About who I wanted to kill.
Yeah, exactly. And apparently you can't remember who you
except
wanted
for
to
me.
kill. So
I'm the only person who has no theory about who I want to kill.
All I know is that I can't wait until the moment when Jerr has to heal Sam, because we'll find out
how air proxies.
how will Jerr handle that.
The fact that
Sam
is Sam and not Sam.
Well, I mean, Sam has been discussed by several different characters.
Yes.
And everybody's just kind of ignored it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's come in such a way that's been so
subtle
subtle and
at crucial points for other things.
so vague
Right.
that you don't know what the person is really talking about, and it is coming in it from a character, a NPC that the player character interacting with already is starting off. I don't trust anything this
Correct.
person says.
Correct.
And then they say something that's so confusing and vague. It's like
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's just like whatever.
The best part about it is making it in the NPC's mind that they know 100% what they're talking about, and they believe that you know 100% about what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And then just letting you kind of freak out over it. And that's always fun. Did you guys enjoy the packet?
Yeah.
Yes. The information, the names that were in that.
Oh, yeah. The Choler's Diary.
Children's Diary will be interesting. And especially recent.
He said recent. He's like, it's like the past, like since birth, or the past year, or the past 2 weeks. I'm like, he's gonna drop it. He's gonna drop it. He's gonna drop it. Oh, it's been the past 2 weeks. Oh no!
It's all the information we need.
So they're still.
Yes.
We're not 100% sure.
I mean, again, we're pretty sure. He blew up. He blowed up. He's got to be dead.
I mean, but he is a fire proxy.
Have you ever heard of fire departments setting controlled burns
Oh, yeah.
using fire to fight fire? I mean,
All the time.
And people die during that.
yeah.
I mean, if you look at the
No one arsonists in the world are firefighters.
Isn't that a frightening thing to think of? No offense, firefighters.
Oh, no.
But
Most firefighters do wonderful things.
exactly.
I'm just saying, most superpower conditions, like the people that use those type of elemental powers, are impervious to that type of damage.
Okay.
But since he can be fire, an explosion,
All I know is we haven't encountered him again yet.
Correct.
or have we?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, do you want him to show back up? Hey, let's have another chat.
Another fireside chat.
In the first season,
That'd be a great episode name for that, though.
in the
Another
first season,
fireside chat.
Yeah, it would be.
Choler was Johnny's brother in the game, was the main antagonist, and he would show up to have these really uncomfortable family chats all the time.
Of course.
It was great.
After I hadn't seen him in many years.
He'd just show up and be like, "Hey, brother. Do you want to see the two kids that I kidnapped do weird things, brother?"
So,
Which I'm so confused about.
Oh,
Was he
my.
trying to recruit me?
Oh my.
Or just trying to scare me?
Both.
I mean, there is that whole love-hate dynamic.
What else happened? Yeah, the whole triple elemental thing just,
Yeah, that was confusing a little bit.
I think, is a triple elemental.
It's not. It's one elemental who is sick.
And that's what Julian was trying to say from
Yeah.
the start. There's only one elemental.
But see, my mind, it just keeps linking it back to the combining of the elemental powers. And
Well, we have seen that before
yeah.
But those...
We have done
in
that
two
before.
different
we have
ways.
done that. Yeah, but we've never seen it from one individual. Even when that one individual had multiple elemental powers.
Abel would
Yeah.
switch.
Yeah, he would
He'd
switch. He couldn't.
between,
He wouldn't
didn't.
do.
didn't do multiple at the same time.
Yeah. These were all combined, twined together.
Yeah.
Which I don't think she can consciously use different powers at the same time.
No, it sounds. I mean, from the description, from the conversations that were happened with the elemental, it sounds like Katari is not even aware
Yeah.
of how sick she is.
Yeah.
Daisy does,
Daisy knows.
Daisy is fighting for her life.
because it sounds like Katari herself is not what is sick. It's Daisy.
Daisy is the one that is sick. That is correct.
Kill it with fire.
I kind of want to talk about Archie and Archie's ongoing
Psychosis?
No, it's not like.
sunspot psychosis. I mean, I don't know.
Like I said, for some reason that we're writing this part of the story, I think, beautifully together, is you're seeing elements of that type of thing cross between different characters. When I mean, we haven't had a conversation. Ellie and I hadn't had a conversation about how to treat elementals' interactions with androids.
Yeah.
We haven't really had any conversation at all, but it seems like we've got very similar ideas, and they're feeding off of each other in a way that is making it, this is actually a thing of how this works.
And we've had some conversations about where Archie and Bear originally came from, and I think I've settled in my mind where they come from. I think that they were originally preserved androids that were then caught and reprogrammed.
Kind of got that hint with the bird.
Yeah. That was
The bird. I loved the bird.
I love the bird too, and if it worked out, if it came up in conversation, by the time Archie had come back and there had been the pyramid of computer screens, that Bear would be just sitting there trying to figure it out, and he would have named the bird, and then had this conversation with the bird.
So the bird is supposed to be Serrani's replacement for the dog.
No.
Because Serrani always had a dog with her.
Yeah, she did.
That she talked
And
to.
tried to kick it.
Did try to kick Serrani's dog. Yes.
Did the dog talk back?
No, the dog did not talk. She talked weird to the dog, like the dog was talking, like she was speaking for the
Yes.
dog.
Okay, that's what it was.
That's what I was like, what?
I wonder if the animal is like a external hard drive.
That's an interesting idea. Hadn't thought of that. Or had I?
I mean, my character is really great with animal handling.
Yeah. So going back to your connection to
handling.
animal, you have not yet handled an animal. So that actually might be part of your
Other than Bear.
Yeah.
well, but that might be part of Archie's issue is that Archie is incomplete in that manner.
Yeah.
That's something for us to consider.
Oh.
We need character reserve.
My character arc. Woo!
And that's why Bear needs the bear.
That's why Bear needed the bear.
It's an animal connection. What is the role of androids in the known world? Is they are the caretakers of the animals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always assumed that was why Bear was Bear and had a bear.
Well, he was called Bear because that's what the kids called him, because he
Like, always had his
the
bear.
bear, and no one knew who this kid was.
Yeah.
So they just called him Bear. So there's nothing else with the bear other than he needed the connection to animals.
It's still a very compelling idea.
Yeah.
Even if it's as simple as that, that's a
Yeah.
really compelling idea.
Yeah.
And it may help resolve whatever Archie's weird talking to
God.
Fire gods,
yeah thing is going
elemental gods.
on. Yeah. May resolve that. We just need to get you a familiar. That's all.
What I was just saying is that I didn't make connection with Serrani's dog with the bird. Now, like, while we were playing, I had a very scary thought of they had the elemental proxy dogs in the
Oh, if
Black
they had
House.
sent a spy.
And the bird was actually a spy, and that's how they knew where we were when we were in the building. And
I actually had an even scarier thought, and I hesitate to say it.
Do you want me to say my thought and see if it lines up with?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I think that Bear was basically given a tracking beacon.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought of that
I knew
too
it.
when we were pulling them out of there.
Yep. And
That's what I wanted
the
to say.
scarier thought that I thought of was that his directive to go get Serrani's information wasn't
awesome.
coming from Serrani. It was coming from the council.
Yep. That was. I think that was when we were all just sitting there like,
Yeah.
oh, like we all
Yeah,
had this
there's
explosion.
one moment where I was just sitting there and I was like, oh. And I just got very still. I think that was the moment where
We were all.
we're all like, oh, and then Aaron started rocking back and forth, and that's where Jeff was just like, what's going on?
All right. One last thing to touch on before points. Vester.
Vester North. He's been mentioned before. Chime and Choler's daddy.
Yeah.
And I think that's who the flame actually was.
Yeah.
Is this from the earlier season?
No.
It's from the Black House.
From the Black
Oh,
House, because
gotcha.
you said it doesn't look like the body didn't look like Chime, it didn't look like Choler, it looked like an older version of them both.
Oh yeah, I forgot that he had said that.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh,
Or maybe it's an older brother.
It's an older brother. I don't know about him. Choler learned his temperament from our father, so.
Oh. Maybe he learned a little bit more than just the temperament.
My idea is that there might have been some deliberately instilled parental rivalry.
that was another thing that was in the diary that confuses me. Well, it's odd. The choice of words was something about that Chime was described as something
Refusing his bond.
for refusing his elemental or
Yeah.
refusing something having to do with the elemental. And I was like,
Oh yeah, that was so confusing.
that was so confusing because
We don't know about it, but
well, yeah, yeah,
Right, but it has been referenced before in game.
yes,
And see, and that's because most people don't have any clue that I am an innate.
Right.
Julian has figured that out.
Yeah.
Which is why he turned to you and said, "Put her to sleep."
Yeah. That's supposed to have most people. There's a few people here and there.
Oh.
I think Jared pretty much figured it out once you were like, "All right, calm down,"
Yeah.
and she immediately was like, "KO, complete KO."
So not even Chime's family knows that he's an 8.
No.
Oh.
So they think that he's been refusing this bond.
Oh, that's
Now I'm
that
tracking.
makes
But in reality,
much more sense.
The bond could never happen.
Yeah.
that makes much more
makes a
sense.
lot
It's not that Chime would ever take the bond either, but
Right.
Yeah, you're connecting some of the dots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So basically, everything that Choler has been doing, ever did to Chime, was to force him to actually manifest his elemental.
He doesn't have one.
Exactly. But Vester was always telling Choler that Chime did.
Fun things you learn about your family, huh?
yeah.
All right, points.
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 Everybody gets 5 from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do a whole lot today, so we learned a lot, but we didn't do a
Man,
lot.
I was counting on getting a
About 10.
10 so I could.
I mean, usually you give 15, and you started giving 10. Now you're only giving 5.
Be careful.
Usually,
He's going to stop giving them all together.
you started off giving us 50. I mean,
Johnny, that does not help.
Remember when we were, well, for the 3 of you who were here, do you remember when we were doing the first campaign?
Terra Proximus?
Terra Proximus.
We were getting 5.
Where you get 5? I thought it was like 3.
it started off as 3, but we were failing so much you
Oh,
boosted it
that's
to
true.
5.
We weren't getting a whole lot.
Fine, do you guys want 10?
No, 5 is fine. Like you said, we
is
didn't do a whole lot today.
We just escaped.
We
Yeah, we
escaped,
did.
and
Yeah.
we learned a lot, but we didn't do a
Well,
lot.
you had, like, getting Katari KO'd was kind of, that was a big part of it.
That
She
was
needs
a
to
big
die.
thing.
One more thing. From the time that I had Julian set up in that place, I already had an escape route planned.
Oh,
Yeah, so that wasn't like all on the fly. That was like, Julian knows how to get out of this place already.
Nice. Smart Julian.
All right. So let's go ahead and talk about best role playing.
Oh, best roll.
You started that, so it's like, I know exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, I think that one's a tough one.
It is a tough one today. And it's not because there was a lack of role playing.
No, it was pretty much all role playing.
It was a
Yeah.
lot of role playing today.
But usually when we have troubles because it's a lack of it.
I don't think so. I think you guys are pretty darn good at role playing it. Sometimes we suffer for the wealth.
Well, my vote is for Liz,
Yep.
just for the sheer way that she gets
The
into
intensity.
the character.
I would
Just-
say so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do put a lot of spirit behind your performance. Well, I've done that before. I can rip up your throat.
Well, not just that. It's like all the times that. Bear, why are we even here?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
emotional.
I'm
like-
trying to channel my inner Indiana. Like,
Yeah.
why are we here, kid? Like, I'm supposed to be doing this, and you're pulling me to this. But that's even like with all the women he comes across with. Like, why are we even here?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be so easy to, when Bear's trying to drag Archie out of the room, and it would have been easy to force Bear to stay there, but that's not what Archie would have done. It would have tried and ended up going along with Bear instead of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I think
things like that.
the way that Archie rolled in regards to fighting and pulling back Bear to go to the other place, I'm glad that I didn't beat him out because I think Archie himself was probably pretty curious where he was headed off to.
Well, also, I think that made that whole scene
Yeah.
so much better, and not just having Jordan just narrate that Bear is getting this info chip from, or whatever info download from Serrani's data bank, or whatever you want to call it, to have. Oh yeah, that happens, and now let's interact a little bit. That made that a much better scene, and honestly, it's
really
gonna make that episode, and once it's all edited, flow a whole lot better. So it's not one in room the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good choice there. So yes, my vote as well is for Ellie. Best role play.
Thank you.
So you get a point for that.
Woo! Let me type that down.
All right, who advanced their character the most?
I already said it. Jerr.
There's a lot of fingers pointing at Jerry.
I already said it. The amount of healing and just not hesitant healing, just step up.
Yeah.
As
soon as he walked in the room.
Julian asked for it, and he was there. And then from that moment on, it was, I'm going to heal you again. I'm going to try again. I'm going to heal. I'm going to heal.
Yeah.
When at the beginning of the thing was, it's, oh, there's a person that's hurt. I'm just going to use regular medicine because,
Yeah.
Is there anybody around?
Yeah.
But, so what was really fun there was that Jeff's character was away buying food for Bear. so there's this whole complication, and I'm like, how long is it going to take him? And he's like, well, let me just roll and see what I get on the die. And he rolls, and he's like, oh, I'm about 3 minutes out. So I set a timer on my phone for 3 minutes, and then when it was time, I pointed to him, and he walked through the door.
Yeah.
So that was actually a lot of fun to build in that real-time tension.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. I enjoyed that.
So yes.
Well
Jerr
done, Jeff.
gets the point.
All right, and then the one that Johnny and Jeremy both fight for on a regular basis.
No. Johnny wins, and I get beat up on a regular basis. That's what it's more like. I'm like, oh, I've got this thing I feel really good about. Oh, that's what Johnny brought. Dang it. It's like almost immediate that I'm like, well, I'm not winning.
Well, should I just start like putting up like a sign-up sheet just so you guys know in advance what you're all bringing?
Oh, no.
No.
I mean,
Because that might escalate the nuclear war here. I mean,
Do you really want to do that with me?
Well, you know what escalates the nuclear war is Jeff's food posts a week before all. Jeff starts posting all these things about food a week before we meet, and I'm like, holy crap, Jeff, if you make any of these things, we're going to be in trouble.
But then he never makes any of
and then
it.
he never makes it. Right?
I was thinking about that peanut butter pie though.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking. I was like, I should make, oh, that's from Jeff. I see that every time I see a food post. I'm like, oh, I can make that. And then I have to look and see who posted it.
You know, I should just start
And then it's
DMing
Jeff,
him.
and I'm
Hey,
like,
Jeff, are you actually bringing this, or can I let the other guys know? Oh my god.
So, yes, today we had
We had lots of food. Lots of food.
we had homemade donuts.
which were really
Which
really
was
good.
so good.
Very good. We had Scrapple.
Scrapple, which is
Scrapple,
very good.
which is
with
so
an
good.
egg casserole thing, which was also very tasty.
Yes.
We had bacon covered dates, which were pretty tasty.
Cream cheese stuffed bacon wrapped dates.
with a whiskey,
whiskey,
rosemary, honey glaze.
Dear God, we sound like the most pretentious people.
Honey glaze.
To be fair,
Not gonna lie,
It adds to the
those
flavor.
things
So.
were the best.
So after we wrap this up, we're going to be having the Bone Throwers Cigars and Whiskey show.
I was like, what's next? Like,
And then we had
I'm not opposed.
the apple pie with a cinnamon roll crust,
Oh man.
which was
That
very
was
good.
very good.
that was
Basically,
something
take
else.
the Pillsbury cinnamon rolls and just
Roll
roll that out and make that your crust.
It was.
And then you do these cinnamon roll type things.
I
on
brought
top.
Dunkin' Donuts.
We also had hot dogs.
That's my vote. The pie was good. My vote is for the hot dog.
The hot dogs were wrapped
Hot
in
dog
bacon, were in a
With
jalapeno.
Stuffed with pepper jack.
Oh man.
Very
That was a
spicy
good
jalapeno.
dog.
And my vote's for the hot dog as well.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, that's not the spiciest food.
Mine's
I'm
for
gonna
the
eat tonight.
dates.
It beat out the pie? Oh
It-
my gosh.
Yeah.
That pie. Oh my
Savory
gosh.
more than
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
I mean, the pie was very good,
Oh, yes.
but and apple pie is my favorite pie.
Apple pie's better.
My vote has to be for the dates. I ate like 20 of them.
He did.
I
He's
saw
like-
you counting.
The toothpick pile is impressive. So one for the dates,
One for the donuts.
one for
Homemade donuts.
Homemade
The
Those
donuts
are amazing.
were really good.
Very good.
Johnny,
Hot dog.
hot dog,
What's your vote?
Hot dog.
hot dog.
Yeah.
2 for hot dogs,
Hot dog.
hot dog. 3 for hot dogs. Congratulations! Yay! Now you
I have beaten Johnny.
if you ever brought back
Not the
those,
first time.
Not the first time,
that
but like
cheesecake.
I could count on one hand the amount of times I've beaten Johnny.
if you bring back that cheesecake, you might stand a more reliable.
Well, the first time I brought the cheesecake, it won. The second time I brought the cheesecake, it tied with somebody else's stuff.
Yeah.
So the next time we get together, I really hope that we do it in the afternoon, so
Yeah.
that I can actually wake up in the morning and
She
not have to
wants to
wait.
beat us.
I couldn't make it this morning because I would have had to wake up at like 5 a.m. to make it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very true. Very fair.
Well, I was baking half the day yesterday, so.
Your family must feel so abandoned when you're like, I'm sorry, I'm making this for the gravy.
This time I made a second pie and a second round of hot dogs.
Ah.
I left at home.
Fair.
Good for
fair.
good.
The kids got some good stuff then.
Yes.
And Kim got some good stuff too.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Bone Throwers Theater. We're getting close to 2 recording sessions before the climax of the season, so it's getting. Things are going to start getting real if I don't let things drop. But I don't know. The group is pretty good to carry my GMing deficiencies. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. As always, you're more than welcome to leave us reviews, comments, give us feedback. We always love to hear from our fans. It's been a while since we've actually heard from anybody, so please feel free to reach out to us. We enjoy putting this together, and we hope you have a great week. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Bone Throwers Theater. Our cast is Aaron, Ellie, Jeff, Jeremy, Johnny, and Jordan. We are releasing this podcast under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 3.0 Unported license. That means you can share the podcast, but please do not modify it or try to gain financially from it. If you would like to visit our website, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater.com. If you would like to send us an email, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is bonethrowerstheater. You can also look us up on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until next time, may the bones fall ever in your favor. This has been a Nerd Circle podcast production.